Well, hello everybody, and happy Paddy's Day. And since it is a day that even us people who work from home get the day off, I thought it would be a good time to respond to a request I had on my channel. And I don't get a lot of requests, so might as well do this, and I promised this to do actually a couple of weeks ago. But this is about the saddle that I purchased that is featured in one of my videos about, I think, already 2 years back. And somebody purchased it and asked me, okay, how did you mount it? And when I read that question, I kind of realized I omitted the way that I mounted the saddle from the video where I showed the saddle on. So thought it'd also be a good time just to take the saddle off and give it a good inspection and just show what I did, because the Fabuki saddle, I'm saying this right, Fabuki, comes with a whole bunch of metal strips and whatnot, and it can be daunting to fit that on your Royal Enfield. So I actually went back a couple of times to change the way I mounted it, and eventually came up with a solution that was really sturdy and very comfortable for the saddle as well. So I've put the frame of the Fabuki saddle next to the original one to show you actually the first step that you need to do. You'll see, if you look at the original saddle, when you remove it, there is a bracket here, and that is basically right here. Because what I did was take the bracket off and put it on the new frame. I did have to drill 2 holes because it did came with this insert bracket that you could put in and then use the strips of metal to fasten it, and I found that to be quite unstable and not very satisfactory. So you do need to drill 2 holes in this bracket to align with the 2 holes in the original bracket. And I always say, as a tip, if you're customizing your bike and you need to make adjustments for the custom part, try to make the adjustments on the custom part and do not make adjustment on the original parts. My reasoning is, if you ever want to put the bike back in its original state, you just take this back off, put it back on here, swap it on, and you're good to go. So that is basically, the main trick to do it. The other trick is the saddle will come with its own springs. They are slightly taller than the original springs, and the eye is smaller. So you need them to be actually slightly taller, so use the original springs, the springs that come with the saddle, because of this construction the saddle peaks out a little bit higher than the original one. It's just a smidge, and actually you don't notice when you sit on the saddle as well, but it's just the construction that raises up a little bit. So you're going to need that extra bit of length, otherwise your saddle is just sloping down and you constantly have the feeling you're going to slide off. So with that, you drill up your holes, and the best way to do it is just to put the bracket on it, and I've aligned it flush to the back here and just made some markers with a pencil and drilled some holes in it and put some nuts in it. The only place that you would mount the insert bracket is here, and you want to tighten this as tightly as possible, so don't skimp on the slip rings in there. So actually I chose for a piece of threaded bar to go through all the way, and then just tighten it as much as I could to the sides to make it really sturdy. That is basically the whole secret of getting it in. Another thing to mention is when you're putting the saddle back on and you're coming to the springs, you will have these bolts, the original ones, and they have these flanges where originally this end here would fit into the hole of the original spring. As you can see, this is a lot smaller, so it won't fit in. Simple solution is just to turn them around, that they're facing like that on each side, and then you can just mount them and you'll be done like that. Now, since I have the saddle off, it's a good moment to go through a couple of things that I noticed with the saddle. I've been using it for 2 years, so when I took the cover off, I noted one of the springs have broken. These other ones, they're in pretty good shape. This one may be a little lame, but that's alright. But here I got one that was broken off. So what did I do? I just made an eye on the piece that was remaining and just hammered this piece, that was this loop here, hammered it straight. So with the new eye on it, I can just insert it, I hope. There you go. And I'm just going to lead it up to here. I'll just take my pliers and just bend it down, stick it through the hole, then grab the piece that's coming out and bend it back. There you go, if we can reach it. There we go. Almost. Might have to give it a little tappity wacky. Just see if I can give it a little bit more whack. It's a bit hard to reach there. Quickly looking for something that will allow me to get in there. I'll just get the right thing here. And there it is. So that's the spring repaired. That's good to go. The other thing that I'm having a look at is just the leather. The leather is pretty good quality. And what I'll do is, like, I'll give it a bit of a treatment with some beeswax, ordinary beeswax. I found ordinary beeswax works just perfect on the saddle. Keeps it from soaking up all moisture. One thing that I noticed when I bought the saddle is the way that these rivets are here, and if you can see that they're quite rusted. When you flip on the other side, you notice these are just like split rings put through, so that's a bit of a surprise because the ones at the back are proper rivets, but these ones, you'll tend to kind of like pull them off, and I've already had like 2 of those fasteners, or whatever you want to call them, come off. So I'm just going to get rid of these rivets in here. Here's the one that's that's broken off. It's quite manky and rusty looking, so it's not the greatest quality, I would say, but it's not too much of a problem of just replacing these things, because this doesn't really look nice. So I'll probably put in some rivets there and just reattach these things so it will safely hold on to this without ripping it off again. That should be I mean, it's like if you're just, you know, got it brand new, I would suggest to do that straight away. Just get rid of those kind of weak rivets and put some proper rivets in. You can even use like small bolts to go through, but rivets should do it. Okay, I hope that explains how I did the mounting of the Fabiogo saddle, and I hope this is helpful for anybody else, especially if you're looking to do some maintenance on it as well, and maybe some preemptive fortification of the leather cover. Alright, that's it for me. See you next time, stay safe, and well, yeah, that's it. Bye bye.